Start off with a good amount of grout and use a 45-degree angle to float the grout. Make sure to really pack in the grout between the tiles. There are a few ways to minimize cleanup when it comes to grout glaze. You can use a glaze remover and other sealants. I like to just wet the tile before I grout with water and a sponge. It helps out a lot with grout glaze. Not too much water, just enough to get a shine. Once you make a few passes with the grout mix, use a 90-degree angle to remove the excess grout. Make sure to never run the float parallel to the space between the tiles. It will cause a groove between your tiles. You don't want that. After it is dry, dirt and debris will get caught in the grout line. At this point, you should have the hang of it and know the float and how it performs. This job took me until I was halfway done with the floor to get in the groove. Remember never to mix more grout than you can handle. Read manufacturer's instruction always. If you can get help, you should. Another tip to have a better experience with grouting. Do not have any fans on or air. You want it to be a little moisture in the air. You do not want the grout to dry up fast. It will make the grout clean up on the tiles harder, especially if you have textured tiles. This is where the extra hand would be helpful. At this point, if you want, you can check the first section of grout to see how it's curing. Always be aware of the dry time. If you can set a timer per manufacturer's instructions, do it. You can never be too cautious. This is the final touches to the floor. It's very important. Now, as you can see, I got into the flow and started building confidence. Next, I will get a bucket of clean water and a sponge and start gently removing the excess grout. Make sure not to remove too much grout at once. Be kind to the grout. When you wet the sponge, make sure to wring it out all the way. You don't want much water buildup. Another tip is to always keep your sponge flat while wiping. Also, don't be shy and use that water to clean that sponge. It makes it easier. Wait a few hours before using a fiber or terry cloth to remove the little bit of grout haze left over. I usually rinse the sponge after one pass back and forth. Keep an eye on using too much water. Wringing the sponge that much will make your forearm sore, so good luck. Unless you have one of those fancy sponge wringer. Once you finish with the first wipe down, it should look something like this. If you got this far, thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe for more content like this.